The Tale of Mr. Beebe. This is the musings of Bloodlust, my scaly reptile brain, and Magnum, my semi-rational on a good day brain, both dogged pursuers of all things feathered, as they have a go at Mr. Beebe, the backyard bird. Setting the scene. Bloodlust and Magnum scouted for a very full week prior to spring gobbler season and hunted intensely near the Turkeyland camp for over 2 weeks. In late afternoon, they have just returned home to lick their wounds and resupply for another sortie to Turkeyland. "Hey, Magnum," says Bloodlust, "the backyard bird has been gobbling nearly every morning since the end of March. I was thinking we wouldn't have to roll out so early tomorrow morning if and was to go out there above the pond where we had that deer blind last fall and build us a hide to set up on Mr. Beebe. He must have a good supply of hens as long as he's been roosted in the holler round the knob. Then we could go back to Turkeyland tomorrow evening. What you say?" "I say I must be rubbing off on you, Bloodlust, 'cause that there is one of the best ideas you've come up with ever," replies Magnum. "All righty, Magnum, no rest for the weary. Hold on while I find them limb loppers so we can trim some brush and we'll be off." "Come on, faithful companion Shadow Girl, you want to tag along?" they say in unison. "We ain't been for a walk together in forever, and I'd say it's past due." Shadow Girl, Bloodlust, and Magnum amble across the field behind the house, up through the wind gap, and into the field above the pond, where a little point in the woods juts out to near the erosion berm that bisects the field. As Shadow Girl investigates anything and everything that catches her attention, Magnum and Bloodlust assess the chosen spot. "Dang, Magnum, with a little work, this sure is going to make a good hide, huh?" "Yep, the backyard bird will never see us nestle back in there, Bloodlust. We're sure going to have a ringside seat should he fall for that fake Jake," agrees Magnum. "You was planning to set the deeks, wasn't you, Bloodlust?" "Before first light in the morning, yes sirree, Magnum. Now we better sit down in this here hide and check out the view whilst we have light and figure where along the berm we need to set him. Shake a tail feather, Magnum. The backyard bird will soon be going up to roost and we don't want to disturb him." "Yeah, and we got preparations to make back at the house, and I want to turn in early so we won't be late in the morning. You know, Bloodlust, based on what we seen on Turkeyland Mountain, this March-like cold wet snap might keep the hens tight to the nest, so I expect they'll be nearby. Things are winding down in the spring turkey woods, but if they continue to consort with Mr. Beebe, we're likely going to have them to contend with too. Then I reckon you want to be the first hen Mr. Beebe hears. Is that the plan, Bloodlust?" responds Magnum. 10-4, Magnum. Mr. Beebe is in for a surprise at dawn. A new babe in town. He'll never be able to resist my sweet calling. As for them hens, we just have to play the cards as they're dealt. After all, a little uncertainty is what keeps things spicy," muses Bloodlust. The plot thickens. Damn, 4:30 sure does come early, Bloodlust. Roll out, it's time to boogie, declares Magnum as he reaches for the alarm. What are we gonna do about Shadow Girl, Magnum? We can't let her tag along, she'll screw up everything. I'll feed her now, let her out, and then con her back in with a treat, Bloodlust, reports Magnum. Bloodlust continues, man, that Supan sure is gonna be pissed when we lock her inside. Not near as pissed as Speckled will be when Shadow Girl raises hell to wake her up way too early for work, replies Magnum. Bloodlust chuckles. Small price to pay for a tit-tat-toe with Mr. BB. Magnum, you best start planning how you're going to make it up to both of them. Have to study on it later, Bloodlust. No time now. Get your game face on, son. A quick breakfast for myself and Shadow Girl, and with all things secure at home, these daring seekers of all things feathered set off across the back field. It's dark as a dungeon out here, Magnum. How the hell am I supposed to see where we're setting our feet? By feel, Bloodlust, by feel. It's our only hope to slip into this tight little spot and set up with the birds none the wiser. Even with the leaves out, we're going to be snugged up right close to Mr. BB's roost. We're taking a chance, you know. Now take it slow. We've only got a short path, and besides, you have to have enough wind left to blow up them deeks. I declare, Magnum, Jake holds more air every year. Good thing I stuck that fork and stick in the ground last night where I wanted to set him, 'cause I sure can't see a thing yet. Yep, now quit your whimpering and whining and blow up a Jenny's and set him in a B opposite of the Jake so we can get hid, Bloodlust. Checklist time, Bloodlust. Whatever, Magnum. Do we have to go through this every time? Sometimes I think you're strung a little tight, but let's get on with it. Gun loaded? Check. Safety on? Check. Water supped? Check. Allergy nose blown? Check. Mouth call inserted? Check. Face mask raised? Check. Gloves on snug? Check. Glasses all comfy? Check. Tushy snuggled on cushion? Check. Time to go to statue mode? Check. Time to tree call? Hallelujah, that's over, but negatory on that last one, Magnum. Mr. BB ain't gobbled yet. We better wait him out. Virtually on cue, down in the bottom, separated from his brethren during the night's hunt, sounds off a coyote. Mr. BB shot gobbles fervently. 500 yards around the way, the coyote pack chimes in. Yip, yip, yo, 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 yo. Mr. BB shot gobbles rattles the timber. Oh, nuts. What if them wild dogs put Mr. BB off his game, Bloodlust? Asked Magnum. We sure didn't allow for that. Bloodlust counters. You worry too much, Magnum. Them howlers might just be what Mr. BB needed to get his blood moving. Now hush and listen to see what he's gonna do. 10 minutes pass. Announces Mr. BB. Magnum gives Mr. BB his finest. He likes it, boasts Bloodlust. You've got his attention all right. Now shut up till he flies down. Mr. BB coming in from the right kind of puts us in a bind. We better practice our clutch move while we still can, Bloodlust. Wriggle your hips around. Bring up that left knee where to lay the forearm and practice aiming down that first shooting lane through the multiflora, coaches Magnum. Like this? No problemo, Magnum. Mr. BB will be in deep doo if he comes in that way, assures Bloodlust. Mr. BB continues to set his roost and gobble for the next 15 minutes. woods go silent. A locator originates softly off to my left. Was that a hen, Magnum? Sure sounded like it, Bloodlust. Better wave all of a sudden like so she'll be sure to see us. Holy moly, look at her fly over towards the bottom. You're so ugly you scared her into the next county, Bloodlust. Why, thank you, Magnum. I'll try. Thank you about getting rid of the hen, that is, not the ugly part, you butthead. Have you looked in a mirror lately? Mr. BB's on the ground. Better take his temperature, Bloodlust, directs Magnum. Yuck, 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 yuck. Hen loving. Oh, so sweet, Magnum. No gobbler in his right mind could resist that, asserts Bloodlust. Yep, he heard you plain. Now tuck that call in your jaw and let's see how things play out, directs Magnum. Mr. BB finally makes his way around the knob, gobbling all the way and becoming more and more curious as to where the lovesick hen he's heard might be. As he comes in from above and ever closer, my heart and breathing rate shoots up like a 4th of July rocket. Damn it! What if he keeps coming around, Bloodlust? I knew we should have never given him the high ground. He's going to be directly behind us, and when he sees them decoys, he'll come near to stepping on us as he passes. I fear our goose is cooked, Bloodlust. There you go again, Magnum. Chill out, you worrywart. It's just a big bird. Mr. BB is in range, but uphill and behind and out of sight. I reflexively tighten my grip on the gun and my mantra kicks in. I'm on gobbler time. I'm on gobbler time. I'm on gobbler time. My auto-meditation, honed by many, many gobbler skirmishes, reclaims my metabolism, and sensing the time is at hand, I enter a deeper meditative trance only spring gobbler hunters understand. Time stops. Unbeknownst to Bloodlust and Magnum, Mr. BB catches sight of the Jake standing proudly on the berm as if he fancies himself king of the hill. I'm sure Mr. BB is thinking, such an appalling affront shall not stand. Just like he's on a string, Mr. BB begins to make his way out of the timber to my right, and as he passes behind the last tree before the field's edge, Magnum swivels into position. I'm tracking him true with him, Magnum. How do you want to handle this? Speak up, man. This ain't no time to reflect. It's time for action. Now in the open, Mr. BB breaks into a full strut. Easy does it. It's too risky to try and take him all tucked in like that, Magnum. He's almost to that sweet spot we practiced. Don't screw this up. He's right on top of us. Hold low to his wattles, Bloodlust. Low, I tell you. Get ready to alarm putt. Now, Bloodlust. Push, putt, pull. Magnum pushes off the safety and with emphasis goes. Mr. BB holds his head, runs his head high to see what the sudden alarm call is all about, and Bloodlust squeezes off a full load of copper-plated number 6 pellets. Kaboom! Mr. BB is in the worst of ways. Bloodlust takes his time getting up and makes his way to the now deceased backyard bird. You reckon we should let him go, Bloodlust? Oh, hell, Magnum, don't start that again. You do it every time. I know we ended another being's physical existence, but we are hunters, born and bred, and for better or worse, that is our way. It's not like we're going to let Mr. BB go to waste, nor is it that his bloodline won't continue. He's been hanging with hens since the end of March, and they'll lay a good supply of eggs. The population will go on even without Mr. BB. For all we know, Mr. BB's up in turkey heaven right now, kicked back on some comfy couch cushions, sucking down bunches of wild grapes, and surrounded by hens that do his every bidding. Maybe, Bloodlust, maybe. Postscript. Let's get things picked up so we can dress this bird. The very thought of them breast fillets are making my mouth water already, quips Bloodlust. Yep, and as sure as I lament ending a life, you're going to end every hunt with that, Bloodlust. Move along. I bet Shadow Girl will be beside herself by now, being pinned in the house even after Speckledoe went to work, declares Magnum. The intrepid turkey chasers make their way home and look forward to a long day ahead of them as they make ready another trip to the Turkeyland camp. This obsession is keeping us young, Magnum. Young, I tell you. Nothing like it in the whole wide world. Simply nothing. Well, neighbors, that about binds the loose ends. Bloodlust and Magnum, long time gone.